Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Oh my God. Oof. That's sorry about that.
Why, you couldn't look in a mirror before you look in your camera?
No, I really don't. Should I?
No, you look fantastic.
Do I have food on my mouth?
You look fantastic, I must say.
Well, I have, I'm up to about 10 or 12 of those Atkins bars a day.
That's
oh my
good.
God.
That's
These are so great. Every time they do it for me.
Which one is that? Is that
This is my favorite one is the caramel chocolate. Is that the way it's pronounced?
if
chocolate?
If you're from some particular block in Queens, apparently.
Caramel chocolate. It's not chocolate.
You just can't get that.
Chocolate nut roll bar.
Ah. Sort of a sugar alcohol Snickers.
Remember that song that you sang on in the 50s? Sugar, alcohol, sneakers, and sugar, alcohol, sneakers, and what would be another fourth word for that for the 50s? Incense. Peppermint.
Nah, that's the 60s.
Okay, before I forget something, first of all, hello.
Hi.
I'll forget this. Why can't I see?
I don't know.
Type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes, it affects your eyesight. If you find sugar crawling out of your eyeballs,
Consult your doctor.
Consult your doctor. So I was watching, I forgot which channel this was even, but it was Hitler and Eva. Eva and Hitler.
A love story.
A love story. And what I didn't realize was that
I think Ava, by the way.
Was that?
It's Ava, not Eva, by the way.
I'm glad you said it now. It gets more annoying. When I was like a little kid, and even maybe till last week, I used to think the woman has to be nice. Right. In other words, like any of these things, it's like Hitler and Eva Braun. How did she try and stop him? What was her method to try to get him to change? Right? No. She's plotting against the other woman who like Hitler.
You're thinking of Yoko, not Ava.
She's plotting against the other woman who like Hitler. And several times she does a soft launch on a suicide.
Really?
Yes. She goes, if I don't hear back from Adolf by 10, that's fine. I'll just take these 25 pills right here, and that'll be fine. And she does, and she gets queasy. But these are not...
And ironically, that's how she went.
She does, but you would think at some point, Adolf, somebody, there would be a sober voice would come and say, what do you think about the fact that he loved doggies?
That he was a human being. Not a good one, but,
Here's my other thing when I was a little kid.
I bet he liked, Jew-hating dogs, though.
Like German Shepherds?
German Shepherds, Malinois, those kind of.
What's a Malinois?
It's like a German Shepherd.
No.
At least in my head it is.
But I also thought when I was a little kid, what else did I think? Ava Braun. Oh, then I'm watching this thing, and I don't know. I forget what it's on. I think it's Prime Video. It's that goddamn, that's what it is. It's Prime Video.
Yeah.
So here's why the Prime Video, I've been told by aficionados that when you watch TV and you're watching Prime Video and you're using your remote, it's a terrible search device on Netflix and everything. It's much better on your phone. So maybe it's better on the phone, but it says, I go on and it says Hitler, you want to watch Hitler?
Oh, you like Hitler, do you?
Yes. Hitler and Ava, right? Of course I want that.
A love story.
A love story. Of course I want that. 10 minutes in, all of a sudden there's a loud noise. Come on down to Schmeckeltown. I'm watching it on Freebie.
Oh, geez.
They're featuring it on Freebie.
Yeah.
So now I have to watch. I don't even know what Freebie is, but I assume it's free.
Isn't it Free V?
Probably.
I think it's
yes, Freebie. I like that. It's more clever. And so now I'm watching Ava, who I didn't realize was so diffident. Hello? Diffident. Hello? You're very garrulous today. I don't know what that word means. I keep promising I'm going to look it up.
All right.
What do you think it means, garrulous?
I don't care.
Remember when early in the days of the show when you acted as the man who knew things? You didn't say, you never advertised yourself as that.
No. I just, when I pretend to know, that's when I get in trouble.
Yeah, but you're not one of those. You are the opposite of a pretend to know guy.
I hope
you
so.
don't usually go, I think I can answer this for you, stupid.
I like to be Chef No-ardy.
Oh, my God. When I'm dead, these things are going to be, for centuries, people are going to talk about, like my brother Theo as Rich Brotherton.
Yeah.
Did you get that joke?
No. Vincent and Theo, was this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Theo, without Theo, Vincent wouldn't have gotten as far as he did. Why am I laughing? First of all, I love the fact that he probably did not commit suicide, which makes total sense. That he was probably killed by kids who were hounding him, and he didn't tell on them. That's the Vincent Van Gogh I want to know.
Yeah.
Also, I understood that he didn't like the way his glasses were balanced. It had nothing to do with his ears. He loved his ears. But whenever he would put glasses on, the one side would droop. He trims a little here. He trims a little there. He trims a little there. Boom. Only one ear. Boom. How did, what's his name play him? What's his name played him, right?
Kirk Douglas, is this your impression of?
Yes! Look at this painting I've done. Look at this painting I've done.
I think of Kirk Douglas is very tight in the mouth.
Lust for Frankenstein is what that was.
Oh!
Because he's still Vincent. The actual Van Gogh was not like a guy who walked around without his shirt on and kicked ass. No, the regular Vincent was very shy and demure.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know,
unlike the action movies portray him,
I go by Don McLean's song.
Yeah.
That's how I go.
Yeah.
I could have told you, Vincent. There's a certain level to his songs where you want to say, why don't you get the fuck out of my room with your fucking Starry, Starry Night bullshit, Don McLean. And this is what's wrong with America. Huh? And I was, it sounds like you and your white friends.
Are you sure you did Starry, Starry Night?
Yeah, that was it. I am so sure, not like when other times I've been sure, I've been wrong. This one I know.
Okay, I believe you.
Him and his white friends, they were going, oh, the music's dead for us. Yeah. Meanwhile, Morris Levy, he's not dead. Right?
Right.
Yeah, if Buddy Holly, look, I love Buddy Holly too. As far as that goes. Are we not on?
Yeah, we're good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just checking something.
Are you reading an email?
No, I was just checking a level.
Oh, so that's the thing. It could be a problem. Yeah. This week, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed. I hope everyone enjoyed. Josh, how was the gig? Is this what I'm supposed to do?
I think we have to keep that conceit alive, really.
People have thought we're doing this IRL. I mean, in real time since we started.
Right. No, I'm going tomorrow. Leaving tomorrow morning. Start shows cool. Wednesday. Ill-prepared thus far. I'll get some shit together before then.
Isn't it unbelievable? The man who has to keep me writing on the state of the industry thing, or I won't write it, he also waits till the last minute.
No, no, the problem is that
how many sets can you do?
I'm just writing. I'm doing that thing where you just keep writing, thinking you're actually adding material, but you're not necessarily. You know.
Well, here's the thing that I've done on this show and in my act. I bring up an anecdote that I think is hilarious. Not the gold ones like me walking down the street and jumping off the curb.
Right.
But it's just something like you think you're a funny guy.
Right.
And during the day you're at the club place. You go, this is going to be a great story. It's just like the time I tried to get you.
Freeze up, yes.
Yeah, it's like a time, and you freeze up and then you don't give out all those fantastic Kathy Griffin-like details that people do.
No, every time I do stand-up after a long layoff, it's... Oh, we've talked about this. That the first set or two is always an acting gig for me.
You should have plants in the audience. That's what I would do.
I think we'll have friendly audiences. We already got Thursday night sold out already.
And it's UNFC, Frank Conniff, right?
Yes, and MJP as well. Mary Jo Pehl will be joining us for a special guest.
Now, does Mary Jo Pehl, she doesn't do straight stand-up,
She
right?
does, yes.
How come I don't know this?
Because you weren't in Minneapolis ever.
I think it's because I follow her on Twitter and she didn't follow me back. She probably doesn't pay attention to her
She's
Twitter
actually
account.
left Twitter.
Well, that's what it means even more that I was thinking. I wasn't really taking it personally because I know there are some people never. But why did she leave Twitter?
Probably for the right reason.
It's getting better now, I think.
You think?
Oh, yeah, because, I want to say honestly to you, a lot of people, and this did make me upset. I don't like Elon Musk. I'm not a big fan, but don't make fun of that launch. That launch was pretty impressive on Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
You could see, you can't see the people, but you see little avatars of them.
Yeah.
And it's just like Elon Musk.
They're very presidential, too.
Yeah.
The avatars.
I hate every one of those people. These rich white people, like this guy who hangs around, David Sachs, I guess is his name. Is it? I don't know if it's David Sachs, but he was the moderator. It's these rich, white, angry, almost fascist-like men.
Yeah.
Who want to just think, and they think that I think they used to think Elon was a genius. Now they just want, I don't know what they think. They just want all the money, or do they think? Maybe they don't think, these people.
I just think now they think he's their way in.
Yeah. Oh, I was featured in an article about Elon Musk in the Los Angeles Times.
Someone told me that yesterday.
And in fact, I was in the.
Wasn't that article ran earlier in the week online?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But
he said it might be the print edition because that's Susan's picture.
Oh yeah.
It might be the print edition.
I didn't actually see you in the online version, but I didn't read it that closely.
Well, that's because I always stand out. No, I'm in there. I mean, Jesus Christ. Can't I just, it's not me doing Groucho.
Allison confirmed you were in it yesterday. So.
What are you wearing today? What do you got? What are you wearing?
What do you mean?
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a shirt.
Stinkburger?
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is how bright I am, is that I could see it from the rat. It looks like a rat tail.
Yeah, that's the Al Jaffe stink line coming off the top.
Does he know you did that? He's dead.
He's dead. Dead.
He went for a nice run.
He did.
104. And I heard that if you folded in his casket, it looked like a regular funeral. Mm-hmm. But when you folded in the casket,
mm-hmm.
It looked like a mushroom, like when you do it with the dollar bill. Isn't that what you do with the dollar bill? It looked like a mushroom or something?
I don't know what it looked like. There were something you could fold to make a funny dollar bill. And
that's how you know that life is not as rich and complex and wonderful as you think it is. If it got to that, oh, look what I can do with a dollar bill, there's a lot of downtime in life. It's not all, oh, this is fantastic. There's going to be a lot of times when you go, can you twiddle your thumbs? Can you do this with your hands? I spent many, many years doing that and sneering, as you know. I could sneer on both sides of my mouth. Yeah. Only because I held this down like this. That's great. From ages 8 to 13.
Just to get a double sneer.
Yeah. What did it get me? What was I going to go?
You're now a 66-year-old man going, I can sneer out of both sides of my mouth. Right. That'll help me in the home.
It's much like Chris Bliss.
Especially if I get like a Bell's palsy where half my face goes.
I'll be able to... No, but it's much like Chris Bliss telling his father he's going to be the world's greatest magician. I'm going to be the world's... Juggler. I'm going to be the world's greatest sneerer. Yeah. My brother does a thing very well, which maybe all people can do. He divides his tongue into three parts. Yeah, but his looks... No, you see, he does both of them. He does both of them. It's really quite unbelievable. Wow. That's why. Oh, by the way, my brother, Rich Brotherton, is taking a new job. He's leaving Morgan Stanley.
Really?
Yeah, because the guy who brought him into Morgan Stanley, James Gorman or somebody, he's leaving. Oh, okay. So he's going to work for a firm, Jewish name, Weiss.
Weiss, Goldberg, and Illuminati.
And my brothers will be turning 70. And I don't think he's going to be happy when he does.
No. It's interesting that he's changing jobs at 70.
I think he was already downsizing before this. So I think it's not like he needs to work.
He's like a high-paid advisor kind of guy now.
Well, but the thing was, what he used to do, he used to fly all over the world every day, and now
all over the world. That
just don't listen to me. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like it's a lie.
It's a lot, but he used to fly a lot, and then he just got burnt out on it. So he couldn't be happier that he's he was like vice president of M&A at Morgan Stanley. So I think
that's a big gig.
It's a big gig.
Yeah.
And I just want him to know, whatever he does, I'm behind him as long as he doesn't slip below a certain salary that works for both of us.
Right.
I can't afford sure, take some time off, but don't neglect your obligations.
Yes. Much the way I encourage my brother to take care of his kidneys.
Oh, do you? Does he have a kidney problem?
No, I do.
Right, so you tell him, what does he do that would hurt his kidneys?
Oh, man, you're just not fun some days. It was just a joke. I have one kidney, so I'm using my brother as an organ farm is my point. That's my point.
When am I the other way, you said, like, or Delight?
Oh.
You can claim, like, sometimes I'm a Delight.
It's true. It's a good point.
Have I ever been in Delight? Have you ever I can't believe it, honey, why are you smiling, Josh? Why am I smiling? It's not only Thought Spiral Day, it's Jumbo Show. It's Jumbo Show. We're doing the questions and the show in one day. I keep angling to replace the great music you're doing with my half-assed Broadway style. Hello, sister and mister. Oh, the Cologuard. It's the way they sing on Cologuard. They sing to the tune of the worst song ever written, My Way. We all agree on that. I did the colon cancer my way.
Yes. Have you heard, I have type 2 diabetes and I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell.
Jardiance?
I think it is. I take my daily Jardiance. Ba-da-da-da. If a 6-year-old wrote that, I would fucking yell at them. That's garbage, right? That sounds like something that a 7-year-old would go. And I have type 2 diabetes. It's really not getting too easy, but I have a little pill. I take it, and then my blood sugar goes down. Please go pharmaceutical web.
Do not take Jardiance. Do not take Jardiance if you don't like Jardiance. Don't take Jardiance just to lose weight. Because if you ever have to stop Jardiance, you won't lose the weight. God, it's unbelievable. I gotta do. Now you got that in my mind. I got the ba-ba-ba-ba-cha. It's got a boo-da-boo-boo. And the other, that's better than the what is it, the other one? Type 2 diabetes. Don't run, type this. Run. Come on, you know what it is. Run, the type 2 diabetes.
I don't know, man. I just feel like you're disrupting my skin with itch.
Why do they say that?
And disrupting my skin with a rash.
Why can't they just say your skin gets itchy and your skin gets rash? Because they can't say something caused it. It's like saying,
well, they're trying to lead you to disrupt the thing. They want to sell the word disrupt because you're disrupting the thing.
Oh, I see. It hurts you.
Disrupt the disruptor.
Yes. It ruins your day with scratch.
Emerge triumphant from your itch.
The guy who came up with triumphant, if I worked near him, and he would go, it's pretty good. I go, no, it's not pretty good, you fucking idiot. It's the worst.
You just sound like
but they're using it.
Idiot using a word wrong is what you sound like.
No, but it says triumphant, like triumphant. You emerge triumphant.
Right.
Triumphant.
I know. It almost tricks the ear into thinking you're smart.
Yeah. Who's getting an extra little commission this year? Is that what the guys who sold the oxycodone? who did commercials for oxycodone. I take 50 milligrams of oxycodone, and the pain just goes away.
Yes.
Okay.
they got a time release bonus.
So here's the thing with Ava Braun.
Okay.
She was not a nice person, I'm saying. She was she may have been as... I have two questions for you.
Okay.
Why... When I first heard about people who were vegetarians, I always thought it was for ethical reasons. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you want to eat shrimp? It's delicious.
All right.
It has to be for ethical reasons. But then you find out that it's Hitler. Hitler was a vegan.
All right.
So how does he square that? I just can't hurt animals, but I would like to.
I don't think it was that. I think it was probably more of a some sort of purity thing, some sort of self-imposed purity ritual.
They said he was very.
Also,
like,
he had diverticulitis.
He also had the word. I don't like bathroom humor, as you know, but I was watching one of the Hitler's bodyguards, and they went. The doctor was treating his colossal flatulence.
Yeah.
Colossal flatulence. So is that what it was all caused by?
The vegetarian diet, probably.
No, but that's why he was so angry at the Jews?
Maybe.
Because the Jews, he probably went, when he was a kid, he would go to this place and go, hey, have some gefilte. Why won't the kid have a little lunch? In all the Austrian, were there a lot of Austrians?
I don't think the angle to go is to make the mockery of the Holocaust part.
Are you sure?
I don't think that.
Are you sure?
I think that's I mean, there's plenty of Hitler rich veins, but
How am I mocking the Holocaust?
Do you think it's because he was flatulent is why he killed all the Jews?
That's the way you say it, because you don't say it with my skill. First of all, who do you think you are telling me maybe the king of the Jews?
Yeah.
I wish I was the king of the Jews. Isn't that what Pontius Pilate said as a joke to the Jews? Yeah, he's king. He's your king.
Here, king.
When was the last time you left town?
Sketchfest.
January.
February. Yeah.
February. Okay, so you don't leave town that often. And now do you worry about the doggies when you're gone?
No, because Allison will be here.
But do you think that
she'll fuck it up, but whatever. They can live for a week.
Is it because she's a woman that she fucks it up in this scenario?
Yes.
Yeah, because men are smarter about dogs or something like that.
Right, something like that.
Something like that. And there are people that you're going to, you went there last year too, right?
I did.
All right. There's got to be something new you can do in Minnesota. Like they're opening up the
jokes.
Purple.
I'll do new jokes.
No, but maybe the Purple Rain Museum.
I think there is.
The Purple Rain Museum.
I think there is a print. There's more to the Prince Paisley Park.
Paisley Park. Oh yeah, and you've been there.
I've been there. I worked there once. Yeah, I did some recording in one of their studios once.
Was it? Oh, do they have tons of facilities like that? I'm sure, right?
It was a working soundstage and audio production place, as well as Prince's Haven. I believe the Mystery Science Theater movie was filmed at Paisley Park.
I didn't know there was a Mystery Science Theater music museum. You weren't in it?
I was not.
Because that was past year. But you'd think they would go back to get a... All right, stop it. Just stop it. I'm talking to the demons inside.
I don't think Frank was in it either. I think he left right before then.
How many years was he on the show?
5 or 6.
Now, did he leave because they were bugging him?
No, he was the only one who left under healthy conditions.
Oh, he had a different job.
No, he was just the one who left before he got bitter.
Right. And now he claims to have been kicked out of every radio station.
Well,
that he's right.
Just serious. I think just serious.
First of all, he is the sweetest. I cannot imagine Frank. He's not confrontational, like in your face.
He kind of is. So, when he gets political, he is.
Right, but that's his job then.
Sure.
But what was he saying? I won't shake hands with Donald Trump if he comes in here?
No, I think it was calling Chris Christie a fat fascist fuck or something like that.
I see, yeah.
On the day that Chris Christie was coming to Sirius XM.
That would be so good.
And I think that's...
Oh, my God. I don't think you could do it. I think that's more your soul telling you this is not right.
Right.
This is not right. This
But you
cannot
would
be.
not approve of the amount of fat jokes Frank does about Chris Christie.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't like fat jokes, as I've told you a million times. But I also hate Chris Christie, and I think Frank's not a big guy, but he thinks he's a guy who's not like, built like a steel. People his own appearance, he's not claiming to be like a.
Right.
I still don't like the fat jokes.
No.
That much. But I do hate Chris Christie, though.
Yeah, there's plenty to hate, and that's
He
not a
might
fat
be
joke.
the most. Was that?
There's plenty to hate, and that's not a fat joke.
Yeah, and I think he's like he's like in a way worse than Trump because he's smarter than Trump. Mm-hmm. He's like that guy who was the horrible Secretary of Defense, Mike Pompeo.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys are.
He was Secretary of State, by the way.
That's what I said, but you told me differently. Anyway, I don't think
Chris Christie completely was a Trumpist.
That's right. And he's one of these people who, when he says, I think Trump's in trouble right now because of the thing, right? And he goes, I think like what you call Bill Barr would say, I think he's in trouble now. But if he was in the government with Trump and he knew he could get away with the trouble, it wouldn't be trouble.
Right.
In other words, it has nothing to do with morals or anything to do with anything good.
No.
Well, that's scarier than me because that means like we got the worst person in there on the basis that people thought he was, I don't know what they thought, but you go, okay, he can't make it, but we're going to give you DeSantis. We're just going to give you these horrible people who don't have as much personality.
All right.
Where is the Bob Dole? Where's the reasonable Republicans of old? I don't know.
It all died with McCain.
Yeah, and he was a disappointment, I think, McCain. I think he could have been really someone who made a difference if he wasn't so vindictive. And he didn't, it's like a guy like McCain, if he had learned the lessons of Vietnam, that would be one thing, but he didn't learn the lessons of Vietnam. He didn't say we shouldn't have been in Vietnam. He was always like, we should have gone further with the Vietnamization of the war. We should have gone further. So people used to think he was a moderate, but he really just wasn't a moderate, except like on campaign finance reform.
Right. No, he was a hockey man, but
also like he's an angry guy.
Absolutely.
He also
but the greatest part was that he turned his vindictiveness towards Trump at the end.
Yeah, but this one,
yes.
Psych. No.
Yes.
Do you realize that McCain doing that? Oh yeah, McCain doing that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have health care today.
I know.
That's how fucked up this country is, man. Maybe we should do a pirate thing. We're out there on the ocean, like with Corolla.
Yeah, because of all the clamps that have come down on us here on the mainland.
Yeah, we can't talk. We can't say. That's the thing. They don't want to hear the truth. That's what Elon Musk is saying. We can't say the truth. That's what he wants the truth to be said, or something.
Right.
You had an idea. I saw an idea percolating in that head.
In the head, you saw it?
Well, in the eyeballs.
Okay.
The eyes are the window to the soul, and in your case, woohoo! I just had the anger of a joke.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I went to sit and sleep this weekend?
No. Which did you do? Which did you do?
Well, I was tired, and I wanted to sit and I wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
So I went down there. They have in their Memorial Day sales. They go, what better way to celebrate the loss? Is it the loss of veterans? What are we celebrating today?
We're not celebrating. We're commemorating the people who've lost their lives in defense of our country.
You're killing me, Larry, with that kind of commercial.
Right.
Right? Okay.
Memorialize high prices.
Oh, and then I love when the king...
Did you buy anything and sit and sleep?
Oh, no. Well, I sat down there, right? I was looking at their... And the guy said, do you like the bed? I said, it's very, very nice.
Uh-huh.
So then I moved over to a divan. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Please, keep going.
Okay. So then I moved over to a divan.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, what do you think? I said, it's nice. It's good. Does it work for you? Okay, 3 hours later, when I was on a Murphy bed, he finally said, "Are you comfortable?" At which point I did my joke and left.
Okay, good. Killed the day.
That used to be one of my actual jokes for my act. I think you knew that, right? Why do I think you know every joke for my act?
Am not.
Some of them aren't jokes.
I am not an Andy Kindler archivist.
Oh, you know what? Don't ask me what I said. Ask Josh. I was listening to Bob Lefsett's, one of my favorite podcasts, and he had a guy named Harvey. I think it's Kornblue. This guy's Harvey. Anyway, he's born in 1951. What the heck is his name? Vamp, okay?
Okay.
Harvey Kubernick. Did you know him? You know him?
Nope.
Here's my favorite stuff. Here's my favorite discussions I've had with you over the years. Look, I think this Bob Lefsetz, I think you'd like what he's going to say. So, I don't think I will. Why don't you? I'm not going to. Well, why don't you check it out? Did you check it out? Yes. Did you like it? No. Did not like it.
No, I didn't check it out.
Oh, you didn't check it out. That's right. Then the other one was me trying to.
But I've heard from other people that he is he knows his music biz.
Right. But then I was trying another time to express to you Daniel Siegel's concept of the mind, how the mind extends past the body. I said, I'm not, and you said it doesn't make sense to you. I said, I'm not saying it like he said it, the author. If you read it like the way he was saying it, you would be much more, no, I wouldn't like it at all. No, I wouldn't, no, I have no interest in it at all.
All right. Sounds like me.
So, it does sound like you. I think there's a certain honesty that's both refreshing, invigorating, and off-putting about that.
I try to cut down on the little lies.
On the who?
The little lies. So I can make so the big ones are more credible when I use them.
Oh.
Like I'll read that or let's do lunch. I try to cut down on those.
Right. Well, they're intellectually
I'll say
dishonest.
let's do lunch, but then I will follow up and try to book a lunch.
Oh, okay. What do I do?
I don't know.
I'll tell you this one cafe that we frequented, they're going, they every month they have like very high quality colored photos, and it's always like a ratatouille. They got me. I was walking by and I looked at ratatouille omelet. Yes. I mean, I didn't go in, but yes.
Yeah.
And did you know that ratatouille it's such a delicious thing? It can be a delicious thing. What is it? It's a movie with
Patton. Yeah.
Right.
But it's also a vegetable dish with zucchini, eggplant, tomatoes, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. And it looked great as an omelet.
Yeah. Sounds a little wet. Sounds a little wet for me.
That's what I was thinking. Did you read there was an article in the New Yorker about how they figured out to put the pizza in the crust, put the cheese in the crust, and the high-level science that went into that?
Into, like, the cheese baked into the crust thing?
Yeah. No. I did not read that. I did
not either.
How would I learn from that?
I would have read it. I just didn't see it.
Oh. No, you wouldn't have read it because you have...
That would have been...
Okay.
That would have been
what do you read weekly? I know you read Scientific American.
Sure.
I know you read National Geographic.
Uh-huh.
I know you love Popular Mechanics.
Right. Boy's Life, still. Highlights.
House and Garden, for some reason, you still...
Sure.
Think of one more. I'll give you $1 next time I see you.
Omni.
Is that the name of a magazine?
Yes, it was.
Is that Healthy Living?
It was Bob Guccioni's science magazine, I believe.
Bob Guccione, the more you learn about Hugh Hefner, the less you like him. I know you're a big fan, but the less you like him.
Yeah.
But because he fancied himself as some kind of intellectual when he was full of shit. And I think Guccione I think Hugh Hefner knew he was just bullshitting a little bit with his bathrobe. No, he was serious about it. But Guccione really took it a step further and said, what am I talking about? But didn't Guccione fancy himself like a political guy? I'm going to get to the bottom of of fake boobs.
I think you're confusing him with Larry Flint in some way.
Well, that's Hustler, but I know it's Penthouse. No. I'm not saying in a good way. Larry Flint, in a good way, I think, fought for free speech and stuff like that. He had, is he dead?
Yes.
He had a side to him that I thought was, I agreed with because he was anti-Republican and stuff.
Yeah.
But Guccione just seemed like he was full of himself. I think he's still around, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
But I
know that there's a new director's cut of Caligula that just came out.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that a joke?
No, it's true. And he produced that. That's why the connection.
Okay, is Caligula... All right, there's two things I need to know.
Yeah.
Is Caligula real? And the Knights... I know the Knights of the Templar are not perhaps real. But is Caligula... Was his name Caligula?
He was a real Roman emperor.
And he loved to party?
He loved to party and do crazy shit, yeah.
Did he do bisexual things?
He did in the movie.
And how good was the movie? Will I learn a lot about history from the movie?
Yes, you will. The movie is it's gruesome in its orgiastic spectacle.
Would you say it's good?
No. But I hear that the recut is a better film. But still, I mean, it's so.
You did see it though.
I did see it as a teen. Yes, my mother actually let me rent it.
Ooh. Was she upset that you did when you finally did?
No, my mom liked to be showy about her lack of censorship.
That's good, in a way, right? You seem to be saying it in a slightly mocking way.
No, I don't. She was. It was an interesting, like, sort of hitch in her personality because she was very much a rule follower in general.
Ah, okay.
But she was very much like, there shouldn't be secrets. As long as it's out in the open, it's fine. Like, secrets are unhealthy, but if you ask me to buy you a Playboy, I will. Because I don't want you to feel shame about it. Was kind of
this is unbelievable. Why couldn't I have had Josh's mom? I wouldn't be so needy. I wouldn't be so neurotic. I'd be like a Midwest Jew. But that's not the Midwest. Would you say you're the upper Midwest over there? What do you call yourself over there?
It is the upper Midwest, yes.
Yeah, but your mom was perfect and your dad was perfect because your dad was like, Dad, you haven't filed your taxes in 7 years. I don't worry about it, and you shouldn't worry about it. And you didn't worry about it, and you let things go for years, and I didn't do it. But your dad said, don't worry about it, and he accepted you, and your dad smoked pot with you.
No, he did not. He did not smoke pot with me.
Yeah.
He did smoke pot. And he knew I did, but we never smoked together.
That's interesting because your generation, I think you're 30 years younger than me. I always forget.
I'm 15 years younger than you.
Right. So you could have smoked with your parents.
I could have. And when my dad had cancer, I got him some. I procured him some. But for the most part, that was my mom's thing. That was like too much.
It
was one thing to like, okay, we've smoked pot, you smoke pot, but she did not want to be that parent that smoked pot with their kid.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain boundary thing there.
Yeah. And I got it. I understood it. I didn't think it
My mother dated my best friend, Jeff Stein, when he was in the 6th grade. I'm sorry, I just used his, that's his real name too. It was Dr. Jeff Stein, and he did not sleep with my mother. To my knowledge, I told you that story though. My mother, she wakes up from some procedure. I forgot what it was. She had a procedure. Maybe it was a colonoscopy. I don't know. She wakes up and she sees my best friend when I was a kid near her bed. And she's like, what the fuck? What's happened? It's Dr. Jeff Stein was coming to say hi.
Gotcha.
She's like, oh, hello. Because she just remembers me and him causing trouble.
Right. You weren't in my ass, were you?
He had the greatest. His parents were so loving towards me.
Yeah. And
they had yodels. Not just that they have yodels. It had a prominent spot in the freezer.
Yeah.
They loved it. He goes, have you had frozen yogurt? I have not tried. He goes, why do you try it? He was right.
Yeah.
He was right.
Is a yodel like a ho-ho?
A yodel is like a log, kind of.
It's like a chocolate log wrapped around white frosting with a chocolate covering.
Yeah, it's like cream, though.
Yeah.
It's more like cream. Is that a ho-ho?
That's a ho-ho, basically. Yeah.
So what's the other one? What's the ring-ding version of a ho-ho? So it's ring-dings and yodels. Ring-dings were the round cakes.
Right. The round cakes, the Hostess round cake was ho-hos, Captain Cupcake, Twinkie the Kid.
I love that Carol Leifer when
Ding
she
dong.
had...
They were ding-dongs.
Ding-dongs, that's right.
Yes.
I love Carol Leifer when she had a whole bit about by the time she ran for school, student council, there was nothing controversial anymore.
Yeah.
We no more ring-dings. Yeah. Something like no more ringings in the venue. We want ho-hos. We want ho-hos. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like that was the example of
her big issue.
Her big issue. Yeah, and
my favorite of all those was the Little Debbie Nutty Bar.
And was that like a Snickers, or was it like
like wafers and peanut butter, stacked and then covered with chocolate-ish thing.
Well, here's the thing that's amazing. I grew up like a typical New Yorker. This is we have Drake's cakes. And I think for a long time I felt like Drake's cakes and with the ring-dings and the yodels were so much better than your Debbie Downer. Who made them?
Debbie Downer. Little Debbie Downer.
It's like, and I would feel superior. They have terrible pizza in other parts of the country. Right. And they eat they eat Wonder Bread.
I wouldn't wipe my ass with their bagels.
That's right. And when I came out to L.A.,
where's my Utz? Where's my Utz?
Let me tell you something. I've said that exact thing in the store. I was depressed about the wrong thing when I came out here in 1978.
Yeah.
I was depressed because of all the little strip malls and the food wasn't as good as New York.
Right. It should have been about your lot in life.
Yes. Yes. That's not the problem, Andy. What is that, God? I said, it's me, God. What were you thinking? What? Well, you played the acoustic guitar, correct? Yes. Who else plays acoustic guitar? Who do you know who doesn't play acoustic guitar? Hey, God, what's this with the sarcasm? Nice. What if that was when you
can't get a job at the ground round.
I'm reading all about these things from these people who were around LA that you probably know about some of these. You probably know about the Great American Food and Beverage Company.
No. I mean, I know I've heard that name. Is that a...
Singing Waiters.
Okay.
And that's where Peter Tork worked.
Okay.
Ricky Lee Jones worked there. A lot of famous people worked there at one point.
Gotcha.
And I can't think of it.
Did you go there? Was it still around when you came out here?
What are we talking about now?
The Great American Food and Beverage?
No. There was a club called the Vanilla Fudge Company. It was like a rock club. Yeah. That was open when I came here. And I didn't realize when I moved here, it was also that the whole music industry as a whole was dying.
Yeah.
But the type of music that I came from was like the Troubadour wasn't what it was and all these different things. And then there was they had great music.
All right, but you need to stop blaming it on timing, Andy. If we're going to get to the truth, it's intellectually dishonest.
I would say here's how I argue that it is timing.
Yeah.
If you're the 70,000th person to think of, if you're the 12 million person to think, I'll be like a singer-songwriter guitarist like Dylan.
All right.
Then you're probably going into a field that's already filled up.
Right.
So in that sense, you were right, but it doesn't matter because I actually believe that everything is meant to be in a certain way, not in the sense that everything is meant.
to be. Like, so that's why Hitler was around. No, but I wasn't meant to be what I wanted to be, and I wasn't ready to be what I wanted to be, and I also didn't know what I wanted to be.
Right. But you were meant to be in L.A., apparently.
Oh, well, I wasn't meant to be in LA. That was one of those fortuitous things that just happened because my director friend from
Right, but I'm just
college,
saying, it ended up to be true, I would say.
It ended up to be true, but if you had told me in 1985, let's say I lived in Trenton, you know what you got to do there, Andy, in 1985? You got to get out to LA. Can you imagine how terrible it would have been? So I was a very lucky man in so many ways. When I started comedy in 84, I wasn't thinking, oh, what a tough town this is.
Right.
You know, I just, that's where I lived.
Right.
I think I've told this story. I feel like I've told the same story over and over and over again. I'm just an old, doddering fool.
What's that
brief movie?
Candle. What?
What is that funny? You know, could you tell when an old, doddering fool has become? I think that's from A Christmas Carol. When he wakes up the final morning. Yeah. Could you forgive an old man who was mean to you for 45 years because one night I had some funny dreams? Would you accept me into your house, please?
How about if I give you a farthing to get me the fattest goose in the window?
Yeah, that one. Well, that one's $15. No. You can see why I haven't
been. Bring me change.
You know, David Bowie was basically telling America, you fucking suck. Do you remember your President Nixon, you stupid fuck? All night, she wants the young American. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows she would have taken anything. Just give another woman another sock on the jaw. That's a negative song about America. And he hit the nail on the head, baby. And these children that you spit on as they're trying to change, they're immune to your consultations. How many people were writing lyrics like that? Dave, hey, listen to my lyric. What is this? Immune to your consultations. Nobody in Iggy and the Stooges had that kind of line, right?
It's true.
You have to admit, those are some fantastic lyrics. David Bowie was a cut above.
He was
like the world's stupidest historian or the world's most obvious historian. Kids, you could do no better than to go back to the 60s and listen to a man named Bob Dylan, a group called the Beatles.
As you pass the State of the Industry torch, Larry King passes the torch to you for opinion stating.
What an asshole.
For my money, Kenny G doesn't do it.
I just can't believe that Larry King was able to justify his horrible work habits and his disgusting incuriousness as a person as exactly what you want in an interviewer. I don't know anything about cold fusion. That's why I asked you the questions. And now there's artificial intelligence. I don't know anything about it. That's why it's great. Right? Wasn't that his whole thing?
No, his whole thing was that he was curious, and therefore he didn't have to prepare.
He didn't know it. Right. I see. Got it. He, which interview program will be considered almost unwatchable? Like, what were they thinking? I think it's going to be Charlie Rose. Because after the sexual things and all the problems he had, then you just left with a darkened studio with kind of a boring conversation where this guy and his money heroes, basically, Charlie Rose, or women he was attracted to.
Yeah.
He was not a good guy. I don't know why you keep fighting for him. Jesus Christ. And you also fight for that guy who was with Heilman. You always say he should never have gone off the air. I can't even remember his name. Mark. He wrote the book Game Changer. And then he sexually harassed all those women. He used to be on MSNBC. Mark, John Heilman, and Mark Fuckface. Okay. Riff. You riff.
Yeah. Oh, I watched that John Waite doc that you watched twice.
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty boring, I have to be honest. I thought it was, there wasn't really much story there at all.
Why do you do this? Why do you do this to me? Why don't you just let that memory go then?
I don't.
What do you think? What do you think I get out of you going? By the way, remember 3 years ago, you said you recommended the greatest album you'd ever heard. I listened to it now, and it stinks. Unbelievable.
All right. Well, then you bring up the next topic. It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Pickle says 311 shows. Wow. I bet Johnny Looks isn't here to celebrate that achievement. Just slow and steady Pickles, right, Andy? Not even a jingle. And no pity jingles either. Look, Pickles, I don't know what's happening to you. You're having an emotional breakdown? It's not my fault you picked a fictional character.
By the way, it's Johnny Whoops. It's not Johnny Looks.
Oh, but that's not something I misread.
No. I was telling Pickles, not you. I was telling Pickles, not you.
But you know what? I wouldn't mind a Johnny Looks. Now that you say it.
Yeah.
Pickles, I think Pickles is getting upset at the fact that he or she has signed on to a job that she no longer wants.
It could be that. But It was a job that no one else asked them for.
True. Dan Marsh says, hey guys.
Like you as a singer.
Who?
The job that no one else asked for.
You know, I'm just trying to feel good, right?
Yeah.
So you want me to pick up on the joke about how I'm a horrible singer?
You feeling good is not funny.
Okay, that's right. Dan Marsh says, hey guys, what's the process like? Oh, I read this the wrong way. I thought he was saying, what's the process like for no, he's saying, what's the process like for crafting a stand-up joke? How much is writing and how much is figuring it out on stage?
Well, in Andy's case, it's neither.
Oh, this is, I thought we were putting our old feuds behind us.
Oh, okay. Well, as someone who's currently writing a bunch of stand-up, it's both, but I tend to make the mistake of thinking I'm going to be a different, better stand-up whenever I come back to it. That's going to be able to craft things on stage out of thin air.
Right.
And, I mean, that's just sort of in me. Like, I feel like I'm just going to be a comic that I'm not actually sometimes.
Well, I know what you mean.
Like, you're going to have that flow once you get up there. And a lot of times, and sometimes I do, but you can't count on it. So for me, especially when I'm in the mode of doing a lot of stand up, I can more confidently write on stage because I have the ammunition to save myself in many ways.
Right. And the audience is listening a little bit.
Yeah. When I'm in this phase of stand up, which is rusty and removed from it,
right, I
really have to make sure that there's a real joke there to be gotten to before
that makes total sense.
It's my whole punchlines not funny notions thing.
Yeah.
So that's what, and that's what the process I'm in right now is I'm writing and writing and writing. It's like you can write all you want, but lock down punchlines. You have to,
yeah.
If you're just writing more notions, you're not helping yourself at this point.
Well, it's also it's almost an impossible task. This thing of you have the pandemic. Yeah, cramming. It's almost an impossible task to do. But the thing is, I used to think that one thing I realized sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I used to think, I improv a lot and everything. But one thing I realized I wasn't doing so much is like I'll lock a joke down fast when it could have a lot of different ways to go with it.
Right.
And riffing on stage doesn't necessarily give you that depth. It's more like, it's like me doing the same joke on stage. I have gotten improvs out of it, right, but it's mostly when I've just thought of something else to do with the joke,
right,
off stage or something like that. I would say it's probably 90 pre-written and 10% improv, from the whole total of the years.
Right.
And none of it's good.
That's not the question.
Oh, okay. I got a little confused. As long as it's not quality.
Right. BDUS says, guys, I've always loved lefties in sports. From Steve Carlton to John McEnroe, Junior Griffey to Ichiro. Andy, is this a symptom of OCD? If so, what can I do to start appreciating right-handed athletes?
Well, BD, I have to tell you, and this is not a put down of you, but I think a lot of people, and it really isn't, but a lot of people think that, I checked my door, so I must have OCD. But you don't have OCD just because you check your door a couple of times.
Don't cheapen his disorder.
You know what, BD? I've heard of this, and it's really a problem, and you should go to my, is he dead? The guy who has the same birthday as me? Tim McCarver?
I don't know.
Tim McCarver has something to say. Okay, take it away, Josh. What do you got on this topic? Take it away.
I'm still just taken aback by the cheapening of OCD. BDUS also says, Andy, how has hack?
What? What are you saying?
BD West also says, Andy, how has hack comedy evolved since you wrote your hack handbook decades ago? Racist, misogynistic, bigoted, prop, and observational hacks all seem to be on the wane. What's replaced them?
I just got a stomach ache thinking that question spurred me to as if we were in the mode of writing the speech and I have to come up with the stuff now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that, I think, is the problem, is that when I was writing about hack stand-up was basically hack.
All right.
So it's more depressing now. It's more like they're not even trying. It's more like they just are racists, or like Jimmy Dore. They're just,
I would go that there's another kind of hack right now, which is just the confessional without punchline hack right now. Like that, well-meaning young comics, but they make the mistake of just talking about their weird fetish or their, some weird shortcoming or some quirk, the confession of it replaces the joke of it.
Yeah. And I think that's probably, when I used to say, like, I felt good having come up in tough clubs. Not that I want to go back to them, but it's because you're tested under different circumstances. Whereas, say you're an alternative comic and you're very comfortable with alternative comedy, and then, you go to these places and you can tell these long stories about whatever, but they're not necessarily jokes.
Right.
I'm not making a whole thing like a Mr. Old Times comedy, am I?
No, but I mean, it's not even, I think you're almost giving it too much credit, which is, the alternative like a story has value. Like a real story, even if it's not punchline laden, has value. But a half-assed confession to shock rather than amuse.
Yes, and I also think it's a style difference, too, because I used to really admire Kathy Griffin, or people like her, because they could bring up details of bringing up the details of their stories was as funny as the stories.
Right.
And it's like, you could say David Sedaris does a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm still angry at him I don't know why I'm angry at him. I'm angry at him because he started to write more interweave fictional with real life. And then he got very, very mean about, he's very kind of like nasty about, he doesn't like why can't he just be called gay? He doesn't like all these queer and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, Grandpa.
Well, he's definitely, I feel like he's definitely run out of satirical steam and is now just trying to David Sedaris everything,
Did you say what?
I said he's
David Sedaris.
David Sedaris everything.
Like Horace and Pete?
No.
David Sedaris?
Whatever.
Why do you hate me now?
I don't. I lost what did we lose? I don't. What did I?
Finally, I have arrived.
What is that? Not his name?
What?
David Sedaris.
David Sedaris. Yes, it was the way you said it that was weird. I thought you went David Sedaris, Now I see what the whole problem was. Me thinking you were saying something other than David Sedaris. I would say Sedaris. You would say Sedaris. But Ron, did you know it was Ron DeSantis? Did you know that? It's not DeSantis.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We talked about it last week.
Okay, just kill me now. Dan Marsh says...
It's just, you derailed what I was saying completely by picking out the name.
What were you saying?
You acted like I was talking about a different person.
Oh, okay. So why don't you make your point about him again?
I can't now. Now I'm lost.
No, please do. Please do.
I was so fucking far off from who I was talking about.
I'm so sorry, but people really love my little wordplay. Dan Marsh says, it's the late 60s, and yet somehow Twitter exists. Who are the best accounts to follow, and who is Andy getting in a feud with? Why are people asking us to come up with 8-act plays? Well, back then, as Tom Sharpling would say, if they had Twitter back then, Dylan might not have gone electric, get all the, it sucks. What are you doing? As you have to see all the that much feedback. 929. I love this name. Guitar Suncat says, bad questions I'm good at. What about the children? Are you going to eat that? Should I throw this away? Has anyone seen that big sheet of blotter acid I left next to the punch bowl? I like that. What does this taste like to you? Bad, right? One good one. Is there hope for humanity? That's like one of my favorite questions that has ever been asked on the show, because it's stream of consciousness, which I like, and it's got a lot of zip, zim, vim, vic, and vigor.
Is there hope for humanity, Andy?
Interesting question. That's all you have to do to be on CNN or something now. Go, great question. Great question. All they do is compliment themselves. We have the best minds in TV to look at this. Christopher Citro says, we haven't been able to mow our lawn for a month. It's been in the shop. Their lawn has been in the shop? It's been in the shop waiting on a part. Our neighbors probably hate us by now. What kind of stuff do you think your neighbors are saying about you behind closed doors after a few highballs? Now, is this an actual image of his doggy?
I don't know.
Because I love that. It's like a doggy going through a maze. What do you worry? Do you worry about? You don't worry. You seem to me you don't worry about your neighbors. That's what I think is good about you. You're very, very not like you're gonna in your face.
Yeah.
But
we have new next door neighbors, so we're still in the waving a lot phase.
Is this to the right? To your right as you walk out of the house?
Yeah, it's the only side. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm confusing with the people behind you who you hadn't known before. You did the fence.
Right.
Yeah. And do you think that they seem nice though? Are you this is what you should do. You knock on the door. Hi, it's Allison and Josh from next door. We just thought maybe you guys would like a couple of, some hot popcorn, and we could, just watch a movie together.
Right.
Just to get to know the neighborhood.
Right.
That's the worst
Show up
idea.
in pajamas with popcorn.
Can you believe there were neighborhood welcoming committees?
Yeah, it does seem a little. No, it's just that now they're just going to get shot.
I would never answer my door or go to a door now.
But I like our new neighbors, though, by the way. They're very nice.
Oh, cool.
So far.
But yeah, I think you can tell if someone's going to be a big problem.
Yes.
Like, for example, if they're playing with guns in the front yard. The backyard, I don't mind.
Exactly. Greg Kelly says, I was wrong about the conclusion of Succession. Should I be surprised that a brilliant award-winning production team could come...
I haven't seen the last one.
It's not a spoiler.
Okay, thank you.
Stop making noise.
You sound like an annoyed husband.
I feel like an annoyed husband.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was wrong about the conclusion of Succession, says Greg Kelly again. Should I be surprised that a brilliant award-winning production team could come up with a conclusion more compelling than one yours truly could come up with? Probably not.
I think that... Oh, I see.
It didn't match up with his prediction.
Right. I think it was a very deceptive show because I think it's a better show I think it's a brilliant show, and it's a better show than I was giving it credit for because they really were dealing with sometimes it seemed like they were throwing a lot of shit against the wall, like we'll have everybody be really mean this episode, but the people are really mean. So there is a consistency to it, and the way they did kind of reflect what was going on in the country, I thought was interesting too.
Yeah.
So I don't like this serious guy.
No, I liked it for a couple seasons, and then I just lost interest for some reason.
I know, but I'm all about it. I'm having a big party tonight.
I watched the finale of Barry last night, which was good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was.
Good. All right, so now how many years altogether now?
I think 4 seasons.
Okay, I have to watch this from the beginning.
They aren't long seasons, so.
Is it funny, the show, too?
Yes, it is everything. It's
That's good. That's what you want.
It is. It is.
Seth Dick III said, I heard there was a new Foo Fighters album, and I don't know where Dave Grohl finds the time. I still think it's weird the way they quickly replaced their drummer that passed away like they were Spinal Tap or something. I think this has always been a very, very hard... Well, I'm answering Seth Dick III like it's a person. I think that there's always been difficulties of what you do in rock and roll bands. Sometimes they just want to keep playing. They don't want to stop. You know?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know anything about that group, really. I mean,
that group has a history of changing personnel, too. I mean, I think Taylor Hawkins was the second or third drummer.
Oh.
Anyway, but... yeah, I mean, it kind of depends who dies too,
right?
You know?
Like Lowell George dying did end Little Feat.
No, it didn't, though.
For all intents and purposes. Oh, did they come up with good stuff after that?
They had some good stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with it. Okay, wrong example. Keep going.
I only know it because my friend Pink was their keyboard tech for years, and
I didn't realize that Lowell George died like that young. And I told you I thought it was a car. It wasn't a plane crash.
Yeah,
like I thought. I don't know. The thing is, like,
but
I guess if I liked the Foo Fighters, I would have more of a thing on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think that would help you care.
What do you think about them? But you're not a big fan of them,
I'm
or
not a big fan,
okay?
but I don't have any antipathy towards them. Yeah. I think, like I said, I think they're excellent rock star citizens.
Right.
Like
That's right.
They're very good at being rock stars in the terms of like what you'd like a 50-year-old rock star to be. It would be, generous to fans, excited about what they're doing.
And I think that probably happened because Dave Grohl had that first experience.
Probably. Although, I read, like I said a while back, I read his book, and it was just way too much of. Can you believe this kid doing this is playing with this guy? It was way too much gratitude.
Oh, I see. I can't even believe it.
Just
that I ended up on stage with this
continuously proving how unjaded you are becomes a sort of jaded thing to do in a way too.
But you're not saying he has the same. He has a Stuart Copeland energy, though.
No. I just saw an interview. I almost sent it to you. I saw an interview with Stuart Copeland on YouTube over the weekend, and it was talking about how they were constantly fighting. And
Johnny Whoops. I think this is who Johnny Love with Johnny Looks. It's an alternative name for Johnny Whoops.
Right.
What kind of person can't finish asking a question without providing their own response first? Jesus Christ. Did you only ask in the first place to bore us with your own opinion? Yes, Johnny.
I think you meant this for Bob Costas' podcast.
No, but I know. That's exactly what Costas does. It's like, look at me asking a question.
Here's what I know. Now tell me something new.
He really, when he first did one-on-one or whatever it was it one-on-one?
Later with Bob Costas.
Oh, yeah. He was kind of charming for about the first few months, and then it's like, oh, God.
Well, I mean, it was still better interviews than most.
Yes.
But there was there's a slightly insufferable quality about Bob Costas.
Yeah, you don't see him being loose.
No. Stephen Elton Yates says, hey, gents, how do you feel about train travel? What's the longest train trip you've taken?
I haven't taken any long ones.
I don't have any particular love of train travel. but I've taken like DC to New Hampshire before. I've taken Minneapolis to Minot, North Dakota before.
How long did that take?
I think about 12 hours to Minot.
Right. It doesn't sound like fun though, like when you were a kid. Oh, I'd love to sleep on the train and eat.
Yeah, no, there's not there isn't any luxury quality to it.
Right, like when they used to run campaigns. When
Yeah,
run a
where
campaign.
you could hook up your private car to the train. But I actually like car travel. So
that's true.
Which, gives you a lot of what train travel does in terms of seeing the whole country and those sorts of things. But you get a lot more freedom attached to it.
Yeah. That's what I think that Susan and I we're going for the big Winnebago pretty soon. I'm pulling the trigger on it.
Imagine that. Jesus Christ.
Touch.
Am I backing up? And what was that?
I need to take the hookup.
Why is it beeping? Beep, beep, beep. Oh, God. Is it going to blow up? Oh. Did you turn the oven off?
I think it would be the most. I'd be the most like Albert Brooks in Lost in America. I would want it to be cool.
You would not have anywhere near that mastery.
He had mastery of it. He was like, look at that Browning element. No, he could drive and everything.
Yeah.
You're dead, pal. Chaotic Neutral says, hey, guys, I'm thinking of seeing Michelle Wolf in November. I thought she was good at the Correspondence Dinner a few years ago, but I think she was touring with Chappelle during COVID. Any opinions on her stand-up? I thought she was very, very funny at that dinner. I really don't know much about her regular act. And I don't know. How about you?
I haven't seen a lot, but I think she's funny when I've seen her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my general takeaway is that she's been funny when I've seen her.
I thought she was great on that thing.
She did again. Yeah.
She killed me with that.
Richard Woke as Fuck Cole says, hey, Andy, how long does it take you to get into character when you're playing the dumb guy?
I don't understand this question.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Boink.
Beatty West says, the thick of it, In the Loop, Peep Show, and Succession. How good a writer is Jesse Armstrong?
Oh, my God. I didn't know he wrote. Is he one of the comedians from Peep Show?
I don't know.
The thick of it, In the Loop. You're telling me something I did not know. He's an amazing writer. Peep Show's great. The thick of it is... What's the thick of it? The thick of it is a great show about British politics. It's the one that preceded the one here that wasn't as good with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Yeah, that was the original, and it's amazing. In the Loop, I don't know.
And finally, Sous Vide says...
Here's something.
Finally from the Twitter.
Yes.
Sous Vide says, I'll still listen, but not live tweet or bore you with my weekly missives. Not jilting you, Josh, just stepping back. Okay, thank you, Sous Vide.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm glad you're
I thought she was done with
fully retiring from our scene.
I made a funny comment on the in the Instagram. I can't wait till you get to it. You'll see me. I made a comment when you get to
I'm laughing already.
You have a page where you ask people to come up with stuff. So what I thought would be hilarious would be... Give me a little... Woo, give me one of those. Thanks.
Sure.
You're in charge of Instagram. If I want to pop in, I'll let you know.
Moldylocks says, currently reconstructing my Mount Rushmore of comics. Andy, Gilbert, and Norm are gimmies. Having a little trouble with the fourth, however. Voss, maybe?
Oh, this is a tough thing when you do this. You can't, first of all, you cannot, the idea of Rushmore is bad. There shouldn't be three people. There's a lot more people.
Well,
or
four.
none.
There's four on a Rushmore.
There's four. Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, so it's not like a stand-up show? It's not like open, middle, and headliner?
Right.
It's 4.
It's 4 on the Rushmore. Who's a good female comic?
Maria Bamford
There you go.
would be one.
Fine.
Megan Keister.
I don't really see Maria Bamford as a comic per se.
I don't know why I even said it. She's not really.
Yeah.
Jen Kirkman.
Kirkman, sure. 15.
She's
welcome to Mount Rushmore, Jen Kirkman.
What'd you say?
I said, welcome to Mount Rushmore, Jen Kirkman.
Yeah, you should be more like Ms. Rushmore. She's a woman.
Dan Wade asks, who's a character you didn't relate to at first, but do now that you're older? For me, it's the dad on Ben Folds 5's third album, rambling into his son's answering machine.
Ben Folds 5 is a group that I thought I would be more into.
Yeah.
I
don't know what to do with that.
Are you into them?
No. I don't.
You know who they are, right?
Yes, of course.
What's the hit? There's got to be a hit that I don't remember. If you want to bake me some flowers, well, go ahead now.
No. That was a Spin Doctor.
Right. That was my only guess.
Who's a character? Well, I thought, like when I watch Ferris Bueller now, I see it as the story of a principal doing his job, trying to round up this little insolent piece of shit.
I hate those kids. Well, first of all, does that movie have Ben Stein in a positive light? Because he's a scumbag.
It has Ben Stein in kind of the only thing that he's ever been universally beloved for. Saying Bueller. What
a horrible man. Ooh.
Zeke Fossey says, by the way, that Will Arnett podcast is an inch deep and a mile wide. The more I listen, the less you like the guys. I like that spiral where I like you guys more the more I listen.
I think that's a good description of something being an inch deep and a mile wide. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, here's my image. Those guys, and of course this is me off the top of my head, those guys want to be deep people. They want to be not just funny but they want to be like sophisticated, hilarious people. Who's on it? Will Arnett?
Yeah, I was about to say, you've never heard it. How are you?
No, who's the other people? Who are the other people?
It's Will Arnett, Sean Hayes, and Jason Bateman.
All right. None of my comments make any sense. They just make sense for the one guy.
Zeke Fossey?
Will Arnett, I've been wanting to like him forever. He's never made me laugh in anything. So I think it's jealousy for me. I think it's envy and jealousy.
He's the only one I actually liked more as a result of that show I watched.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's the only one who seems like he's got a little sort of off-camera substance as a human. Can
I say, though, that I felt that he's been either overrated or used too much?
That both could... I'm not like a huge fan of his as a comedic actor. I think he's sort of a poor man's Odenkirk as a comedic actor.
And look at us as we look over and by the way, don't forget to buy us a cup of coffee. If you like our randy points of view.
But as a person, I like him better after the thing. Zeke Fossey also asked, when's the last time you went to an amusement park? Last time was when I worked on America's Funniest Home Videos, and we had to spend a week at Disney World shooting at night after the park closed.
I think mine was the same thing. I was in Disney World to shoot a show for TNT, wraparounds for the show where Billy Crystal is a ref. What is that movie?
Forgetting Paris or something like that?
Yeah, it's so terrible. I had to watch
Paris.
that movie. Yeah, it's so bad. He's so bad. The movie's bad, and you just don't know why it was made. But it was pretty impressive. I was out down there in like Switzerland, where everything's a different place. It wasn't Switzerland, right? Okay, that was good.
You're thinking of Epcot, I think. You want to put the mic back to your face?
When you look, it's like you couldn't say something negative towards me because it's like trying to, I so clearly don't know what I'm doing, right? The delightful man. He's a delightful man. Yeah, towards the end though, he wouldn't talk into the mic. I will say this. I like this much better than when the mic's on the stand. I'm just saying for me.
All right.
I love it. And because I don't have any work to do. All right.
I
go
like
ahead.
it because it makes you so happy. Catherine7234 says, emboldened by the reading of her first ever letter last week, Catherine is back to say, the other morning while playing the podcast, my husband asked me if I was listening to a Gatling gun. What he was referring to was Andy's laugh. No tea, no shade, but how often do you get this comparison? Love the laughs, love the pod. Thank you, Catherine.
Well, my wife has a similar. Thank you, Catherine. My wife has a similar laugh, and so people think she's copying me, but she's not. We both have a similar. And then my sister had a similar laugh, which is it's like somewhat charming, and then it's also there's a little bit of a cackle to it.
It's the hostility.
True.
The thing that's the gun-like thing is the hostility you're hearing.
Oh, that's right. That's exactly right.
Daisy Petunia.
Thanks for putting your finger on it.
Daisy Petunia says, could you guys perform the 2-part harmony back and forth from the near end of Doobie Brothers' Black Water?
Oh, is that one? Oh, Blackwater. Okay, give it to me.
I just know the part that goes, honky tonk, honky tonk, honky tonk, with you all night long. Here's some funky Dixieland, Penny Mama gonna take me by the hand, by the honky tonk, honky tonk, honky tonk,
Honky tonk.
with you all night long. You got to sing the other part, man. I like to hear some funky Dixieland,
I thought you
Penny
don't like me
Mama
to
gonna
sing.
take me by the hand, by the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, pretty mama.
Isn't that the way you do that kind of music? By the hand. Like what's the one with James Taylor? Come on, baby, say mockingbird says yes, you, and then they sing it.
Come on, baby, say mockingbird.
And if that mockingbird,
And if that mockingbird don't sing,
I'm gonna buy,
gonna buy me.
That would be a good version.
It would. Full Dork says, Karen, I never get sick of that song. Maybe I have terrible taste in music, but I really like the lyric, that person isn't me.
Oh, it is good if it was like the guy if it was an Alan Sherman song.
Right.
Then it's hilarious.
If you could only listen to music from one decade for the rest of your life, which would you each pick? What if you both had to agree on one? Wow.
That's a tough one.
Does it have to be a decade, or can it be, does it have to be like 70s, 60s, or can it be like a 10-year period?
I think they're saying decade, which makes it harder.
Harder, yeah. Because if I could pick a 10-year period, I'd probably go like 77 to 87.
I would be very similar to you there with the new wave coming on and did you like the English Beat? Have we talked about this? Oh my God, they're so great.
Yeah.
I confess. You liked them, but you weren't that into them or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Finally, you've crystallized my thoughts, Andy Kindler.
And my dad would make a joke like this. No, it wouldn't be that bad. But he'd go, that's a very painful process.
But I would probably pick, if I had to pick, I would probably, I guess, go the 80s if I had to pick.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's so weird that you would say that because you don't have the Beatles.
Yeah, but you have so much other, you have the nice chunk of Elvis Costello's catalog. You've still got some Talking Heads going. You got Graceland. You got all sorts, you got
John Hyatt.
You got John Hyatt, Bring the Family. You got a bunch of great stuff.
But you don't have Randy Newman. But he's still in the 80s.
You still have Randy Newman. You still have Land of Dreams. You still have...
Right, but then you can see how classifications and categorizations ultimately break down. Because you have to go, okay, but when does it end? When does it begin? The truth is, time is a construct. It's a relative term. Time does not really exist. We are, after all, at the same time now, and now.
As you hear this next week.
You know, I still feel bad about my hang up though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever like
Which
when
one,
I hang
your
up.
tiny penis? Oh, hanging up the phone.
Why would my tiny penis be a hang up? Oh, I'm upset about it, right? I toured for many years as micro penis. How many more questions could we fucking
There's
have?
like 3 more questions. Will
All
you
right, go
fucking
ahead. Take it away.
We're at an hour and a half now.
Why don't you relax? Why don't you relax?
Because I'm on the phone with Andy Kindler. It's impossible.
You nut.
Ha! Wampus Reynolds asks, what's the one thing your wife listens to that can't be in the same room when she does? My wife watched House Hunters, a show that simultaneously bores and enrages me for unarticulated reasons. Break a leg in Minneapolis, Josh. Thank you, Wampus. My wife and I just don't watch TV together, period. But she watches all sorts of shit I don't like. And I'm sure I do her, too, because sports is a part of it.
Right. Well, and my wife and I do tend to watch things together. And I do all those House Hunters. Those shows are so derivative that they get boring.
My wife watched Love It or List It a bunch of times.
Right. I like that. That couple is
the
nice.
matchmaker shows, the Jewish, the Indian matchmakers. Those shows she's watched. There's lots of things I hear coming from the other room when I'm making dinner or whatever that I go.
We're watching more, but we're watching Love at First Sight.
Yeah.
So we watch. We join up on the Real Housewives stuff because we both like that kind of like horrible reality show thing.
Yeah.
We both enjoy it for the same reasons.
And I don't know why I'm so repelled by them, but I am.
They're bad.
Maybe that's it. Delicious Mix says, a short story that will lead to a revelation and my question. When I was 17, I brought my girlfriend home for the first time. Sarah, 28, petite blonde. 17, and she was 28. Okay. We're standing in the living room. My dad, Michael, walks past us through the living room on his way to the bedroom, stops and pivots on the spot, looks Sarah up and down and says, delicious, turns and enters his bedroom. And that, kids, is how Delicious Mick was forged. Okay, good. Did your dad ever say some creepy shit to a girlfriend or just in general? Peace and love, good fellas. That is some creepy shit, my friend. That is.
My dad did not do stuff like that, but what he would do is he would squeeze, if he was like at Mohawk when we were, if he saw like a 6-year-old kid with a cute head, he'd squeeze it like the old days.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then the guy would go, hey, I said, Dad, and he goes, what are they going to do to me now? Because that's what he said. He's like 75. What are they going to do to me?
So
because he literally didn't care. They're like, sir, I'm saying, I'm just very sorry about my dad. Hey, how you doing there, Smokey?
So I thumped a kid like a melon. So what?
I did love that part about my dad, that he liked himself.
Yeah. My dad did not have an outwardly lascivious side, really.
No, my dad had the opposite of that. He would never look at women, ever.
Yeah. It was something the one time when my mom... or my wife, paging Dr. Freud, met my dad. We had dinner, and she she noticed that he didn't have his head on a swivel at that dinner.
Now, I've seen this, though. It's very cute. Susan's dad was taking pictures, like in the old days where they had the movie camera. So he's watching the kids... and they're swimming, and then a woman walks by, and he pants over. Yeah.
But did he do it as a gag?
No, I don't know. It's so hard to tell because it was so long ago. Because I didn't understand when I was first looking at Susan's home movies that she was dancing because there was no sound. I was like, why is she always dancing? Because she's doing little ballerina moves.
Yeah.
Because back then, that's what it was like. Do something. I'm going to start the movie camera.
Right.
Do something.
Right.
Paul Feig used to have a very funny bit about how when you had those back then, whoever was into filming, it was always these horribly bright lights.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing the bit justice.
That's okay.
It is okay. I can't be funny all the time.
Alex Hanna had a question that said, I live on cooking meat in frying pans. Could you theoretically grease your pan to cook meat with the previous night's meat grease indefinitely?
I guess you could.
I think you would get rancidity at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to cook meat in a frying pan, or are you supposed to cook it on a... I use a grill pan.
Both are acceptable. It's not a supposed to thing. But
if I was any more stupid...
Like I use like a cast iron. For steaks, I'll do like a cast iron... Actually, like a porcelain-coated Le Creuset pan for that, for searing, because it gets super hot and even.
God, I've told you this story many times. When I first went to college and tried to cook, tried to cook chuck steak on a hot plate, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this, it's red meat. It looked beautiful to me, the chuck steak.
Yeah.
It's awful. I didn't know you had to grease. I know nothing. Right. Literally nothing except toast. Expertise.
When I first came out to LA, we started, Pink and I, who were eating out like 5 times a week together, ended up going, all right, we need to start cooking.
Is that how you learned to cook?
That was how I started.
Wow.
So we'd get together and make stuff. But like the first few, like we tried to make steaks and hash browns like the first time out, and I like fucking destroyed 2 steaks, and he made the grossest fucking hash browns that the water had been squeezed out of them, and it was just gross.
Well, the mistake people make with hash browns is they don't boil the potatoes first. If you try to cook potatoes from raw,
I don't know. Well, that's not necessary. The bigger mistake with hash browns, because I don't agree with that. I don't agree with boiling them before hash browns, but you need to squeeze the shit out of all the moisture and water that's in them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And slice them thin?
Yeah, I like shred them.
Right. All right.
They're
so you don't like the way I do it. So fine.
I don't know. I don't think you're making hash browns is the thing.
Oh God.
Hash browns are shredded potatoes fried.
Right, but I boil them a little bit to get them soft, and then I shred them up.
Okay.
I put paprika in there.
There's nothing wrong with boiling them.
Onions in there. Yeah, I know. Let's not get this into a discussion that makes me feel good about myself. About my cooking, because it's not important.
It's a legit method. I'm just saying I don't find it necessary for my kind of hash browns.
But when I first moved to LA, I was so depressed because back on the East Coast, they did not have the reconstituted Denny's. I'm sure they all have them now. The reconstituted Denny's potatoes,
like frozen.
Yeah, they're like frozen, or that sometimes. Actually, I work at Denny's. They're room temperature.
Yeah.
I hated that. So when I would go to a place like Joe's or go to that place Ray's in Santa Monica, I was like, yeah, it's home. Or Oak Roach.
Huh.
John Oak Roach.
Yeah.
I had a meal once, and then there was a lady there.
I had potatoes.
I made a hell of a brisket yesterday.
Oh. I bet you do make a hell of a brisket.
I made a hell of a brisket yesterday. Smoked it up beautifully and ate it with Dave Gruber Allen.
He's in town?
He is in town this week, yes.
That's wonderful. Oh, how do I claim to be friends with people? I never see them. You see your friends. You spend time with them.
I'm a friendship maintaining kind of dude, yeah.
Yeah. You just made me feel worse.
Well, you talk to me twice a fucking week, so.
Yeah, but you're my best friend.
Maybe return a fucking text to someone once in a while and you'll have a second friend. How about that?
It's like Dennis Miller giving you advice about texting. Hey, look, Cha-Cha, answer a text every once in a while.
And finally, Andy Kindler says...
I am not looking at this.
Andy Kindler says...
Deliver it right.
I have one question. Why?
That's the follow-up to High.
Oh.
Why? My first album was High.
So it should be
Why?
I'm not going to hang up on us anymore, so you're going to have to do, don't sneeze.
Okay. If you'd like to support our cause,
right,
buy our stuff or go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and buy us coffee.
If you'd like me to lecture, if you'd want to go on my Cameo video lectures, there's, and the pain just goes away.